Hi, my name is Mark Werman, PGA professional at Big Sky Golf Course, and today I'd like to give you a tip on ball position. Ball position is one of the four fundamentals of the setup. The setup is basically what we do before we hit the golf ball. Ball position is kind of an optical illusion. The myth out there is that the position of our ball changes based on the club that we're hitting. And in actuality, that's not true. Like I said, it's kind of an optical illusion, and I'm going to explain that to you now. I have here in my hand a pitching wedge, which is one of the shorter clubs in my bag. So the rule of thumb is the shorter the golf club, the more narrow your stance is. The longer the club gets, the wider our stance gets. So as I'm standing here with my pitching wedge, I want to position the golf ball just slightly forward of center in my stance. You'll notice the feet with the pitching wedge, my feet, maybe the outsides of my feet are the same width of the outsides of my shoulder there. So I have a fairly narrow stance. And center of my stance would be right down from my zipper. So I'm gonna have this ball position just slightly forward of center or a couple inches off of my left heel, like so, okay? So now I'm gonna grab a 6-iron, which is right probably in the middle of the length of clubs in my bag here. So as a 6-iron here, I grab that 6-iron, my stance is gonna get a little wider here, and I'm positioned like so. So the ball is still slightly forward of center or a couple inches off my left heel, but it appears, because my stance has gotten wider, that the ball has moved a little more forward in my stance. And like I said, that's the optical illusion, is that the ball in relationship to my left heel is still in the same position. So now as I grab a driver, which is the longest club in my bag, now that my stance is gonna get the widest. So as I get this driver, I'm getting further away from the golf ball because I have a longer club, and my stance has gotten even wider yet. And now you'll see that the insides of my heels are the same width of the outsides of my shoulders versus the pitching wedge where the outsides of my heels were in line with the outsides of my shoulder. And as my back foot goes back, it appears that the ball has moved even more forward in my stance, but once again, in relationship to my left heel, the ball position is still a couple inches off that left heel, slightly forward of center in my stance. So one more time, we're standing here with the driver, our stance is the widest, and the ball appears to be off of my left heel. Now I've got a 6-iron in my hand, so I'm kind of in the middle here. My stance isn't quite as wide. I'm still slightly forward of center of my stance, and the ball is positioned a couple of inches off my left heel. And we'll move back down to the pitching wedge, which is one of the shorter clubs in the bag. My stance gets even more narrow yet, but yet the position of the ball is slightly forward of center or a couple inches off of my left heel. Now, real quick, the reason why we position the golf ball there is that is the bottom of our arc. So as we're swinging this club on this inclined plane or this arc, we want the ball to be positioned as the golf club is still moving down at the bottom of that arc. And the reason why is because in order to get the golf ball to go up in the air, we have to hit down through the ball. So we position the ball where we do because science has told us that at the bottom of the arc, the club is still moving down, and that's gonna help us propel the ball up in the air. I hope this tip helps for you. And if you have any other questions, consult your local PGA professional.